Welcome back, Geography, Grade Core of Learners 2025. I'm just happy that we are meeting again at this time where we are revising our last mock exam, our last rush paper of the year. We have been together from January. This is our last exam that we are writing now. Just take note, today we are working on preparatory examination 2025. This is preparatory examination 2025. Don't forget that we are revising, and paper 2, class geography, paper 2, it's a Gauteng province. Let's mark now. Let's mark now. Let's do it together. Let's enjoy the revision. Let's enjoy the revision right now. Like I'm saying, it's a paper 2, geography, Gauteng province. So without wasting any time, let's get straight into the details of the paper. Uh, don't worry, for those who might not get it right. It's that time of the year to fix and get ready and uh, just redo all the errors that have happened before, but we still have time to go and get the best. So the instructions are always important. Like I always say, this is the time of the year where we expect matric students not to make any mistakes. Please, instructions are very important. You are so strictly supposed to understand that you read every instruction, you read all the entire instructions in the paper, therefore you won't make mistakes. So here are the instructions. We go straight to the question paper. This is first section A, question 1, multiple choice. We are under settlement pattern. Settlement pattern illustrated at X is a dash. We are given this is a river, which we can say it's a water source. We have a water source here, and then we have a floodplain, which we say fertile soils. Fertile soils, I always say that when you are going to exam, just try to ensure that you always try to quickly mark things that you are aware of. Steep valley sites, these are the steep valley sites, and then we have got our settlement that is given there. So now, the settlement pattern illustrated at X is a dash. What type of a settlement is shown at X? As you can see, we are having a settlement pattern that is shown at X. So as you can see, our houses, these are our houses. We have got houses that are built here along the river here. These are houses that are built along the river. So what is happening is, what type of settlement pattern is shown at area at X? Can it be dispersed? Can we say that it is nucleated? Can we say that it is a gap? I'm sure that previously this has been also answered. I've been always telling you students that please don't go to exam without having a thorough understanding of the question paper mark allocation or chapters that would come there. So as you can see, the settlement is actually hanging along the river, along the river banks, or it is running along the river, which is actually showing a string of houses that are built along the river. So we can say that it is a linear settlement pattern that we are seeing in here. We are seeing a linear settlement pattern where the settlement is running along the river there, and then we have got the floodplain that is also along there. The settlement pattern, the settlement shape illustrated, the settlement shape illustrated at X, the settlement shape illustrated at X. As you can see, what is happening here? This we are saying, what is the settlement shape that is illustrated in this? We are saying settlement pattern and settlement shape. What settlement shape is being illustrated at X? So like I'm saying, for those who are following Metric Hub, I'm sure that you always know and you have seen it quite a lot of times that we are always having a good luck of doing questions or getting exams that have been marked or that have been revised on this channel. So as you can see, what settlement shape is being illustrated at X. What is a gap? Gap cannot be, I'm saying, we are saying it's not a cross. There is no cross that we are seeing there. A cross, it means there is an intersection of it is an intersection of roads. It can be roads that are meeting at a certain point, allowing or causing settlement to develop along it. So we are seeing we have also the same river, same line, same shape, same pattern, which we are seeing there. So I would want to say that we still have a linear settlement shape that is also happening along there. We still have a linear settlement shape that is taking place at X. So the settlement X is in the sketch is a dash point settlement. This is a dash point settlement as it is a dash to or from the water source. I'm saying this paper, just check through the paper that has been last loaded or revised on Metric Hub. It actually addresses this concept. So what is happening is that we are saying you need to know that there is a river that is close to the settlement there. We have got a water source that is close to the water to the settlement, and then X is sitting exactly on the right. It's sitting right on the water edge. It is sitting on the right on the water's edges there. So we can say that this must be a wet point settlement. It must be a wet point settlement. It's a wet point settlement, which is a wet point settlement, and it is close to a water source. A wet point and close to a water source. So therefore, we can see that it's not far. It cannot be dry. Dry can never be correct here because the settlement that is growing here is because of the availability of the water there, or else also of the fertile soils that are there from the floodplain, which results in a linear settlement pattern that we have identified there, resulting in what? In a wet point settlement, and it is close to a water source. The factors affecting the site of a settlement at X. What factors are affecting the site of the settlement at X? If we look at here, we are saying what factors are affecting the site of the settlement. I am sure that if we can look at this one, we are supposed to understand that do we have any roads? Do we have any roads there? Do we have any fuel? Do we have any relief factors that are affecting there? So if we go there on this on if we go back onto it, when you go back onto it, I'm saying if we go back onto this factors that can affect this settlement pattern, it must have to do with what? It has to do with the availability of water. It has to do, we are saying it has to do with the availability. We don't have we have to talk about the floodplain, the river, and so forth. So now, given the options that are there, we are saying which can be that, which factors can be correct in this case. Uh, what factors can be there to affect the settlement development at X? So 1, we can say roads. I'm saying 1 is roads, 2 is fuel, 3 is relief, and then 4 is water. Water can be there because we talk about the water that is given in this regard. We have got the water that is also there. In terms of the roads, let's see roads and fuel. Do we have roads and fuel in this case? Settlement, these are, but is given that there is steep valley sides, and therefore, what can be the reasons that can be there? If it is steep, settlements might not also be growing because of steep valley sides, because on steep slopes, settlements tend to be very unstable. So we might also not take the point of what of relief. Relief in this case, according to the situation that we are given here, it must be prohibitive. So we can otherwise agree that when settlement develop, we have got roads and then we have got water. Because fuel we don't have, we are not so sure about fuel. That is not mentioned there. The relief, we are saying that here it is said it is what? It is steep. So steep landscape. Steep landscape actually must be prohibitive. It must be prohibitive in terms of settlement development, because what happens there is that being prohibitive, because houses cannot be able to be built and become stable there. So we can say 1.4, we can say that it is the roads and the water. We can say that the water and the road can be available to agree on that. We are given the illustration and answer the questions that follow. Uh, this is the CBD, which we said that is always shown by what? By vertical expansion of buildings, vertical expansion of buildings. This actually indicates, or it's one of the key characteristics of what? Of a CBD, which we say that what causes that, we were talking about the land value. The land value is very expensive. Land value is very high, and therefore we are saying people tend to develop or to expand, going upward or going vertical, in order to economize and maximize on the available space. So the illustration above shows how a city looks from the side. How the city looks from the side. What when we look a city from the side, this concept illustrates what? It illustrates what does the city illustrate? What does that illustrate? So now what we are saying is that the concept illustrates, we have got inversion and succession. Inversion and succession cannot be there. We say that inversion and succession is also uh, a land management technique, which we are saying old buildings might be taken off, and then it is encroached and taken over by better new business functions. So those business functions result in building of new buildings. Succession is now completed, and then when we look at facadism, this is also some principle or practice of this is also a practice or a principle of preserving the fronts of buildings that have an elegant architectural design. So buildings that have got elegant architectural design are actually preserved, which we say that construction of modern buildings are done behind their old or original front. So in other words, facadism and and uh invention and succession cannot be. And then pollution dooms, we talk about pollution dooms. When we look at this cannot be any pollution doom. There is nothing to do with pollution doom in this case. We talk about the accumulation of greenhouse gases, carbon gases in the atmosphere, which are something else. So this illustration that is shown here, it identifies the urban profile. The urban profile, it is the urban profile that we need to understand, that it is being shown where we look at the city, how the city looks from the side, how the side view of the city. It is called urban profile. So the CBD refers to the central business district and is a land use zone. CBD is the central business district and is a land use zone. Obviously, that is true. A land use zone is defined as dash. What is a land use zone? When we look at an area within an urban settlement with a particular function, there is a particular area in the urban area, or we are saying it is actually set aside for a particular function. So the particular function occupies a specific area within the urban synth or within an urban settlement. So our answer must be B, which we talk about urban settlement with a particular function. The particular function is actually found within that area. We have no mix of, we actually look at it as to say that it occupies and runs services and functions that are taking place within that particular area. The side view of an urban, that is what we talked about as urban profile right now, and then an area reserved for conservation surrounding the city. We are not saying it can be the urban. We cannot talk about that as a CBD. And then the area labeled Q surrounds the city. The area labeled Q, it surrounds the city and is called a green belt. Green belt, we have been talking about this in terms of environmental management and also promotion of ecosystems and biodiversity in geography. So a green belt is made up of trees on rooftop, on rooftop parking areas. We cannot talk about, we are saying area marked Q. If you can look at it, area marked Q, if we look on the question paper, the area marked Q, the area marked Q, we are saying it is the area marked Q. What happens is that we are saying it actually shows uh, parks. We have got open fields, industrial areas. Industrial areas can never be found in around the city center. You see that the industrial areas can never be found around the city center. So it must be, we must have at least, we must have trees, and we must have trees that are found there. The trees are found in terms of that. We have got trees that are on rooftop. The green belt must have trees. And then we can also have open fields that can also be there. Open fields that can also be there, which makes it to be saying it is what? It is B. B can be the right answer. B can be the right answer. We have got trees on tops of on rooftops. I am sure that you remember the rooftop, the advantages, or what are the advantages of this rooftop. We talk about greening the city. When we talk about greening the city, we talk about people doing agriculture, micro farming on rooftops. We talk about open fields also, which are just having some trees and grassy vegetation there that also helps to promote and neutralize the temperatures in the city, as well as giving a clean environment in terms of the air, in terms of the freshness of the air, oxygen concentration. So we have got the diagram that represents, that is shown to answer question 1.2 to 1.5, 1.2.5, number of functions that are serviced. And then we have got settlement, population sizes. Population sizes settlement, it is actually increasing. It increases as we move away, or as we move from the smallest, as we go up, the population increases. Population, it goes up. Population increases class as we go from the smallest form of settlement to the highest. And then number of functions also increases as we go up. So what we are talking about is we are looking at this as to say that this is an analysis in terms of urban hierarchy, or we can look at it in terms of urban settlement classification, which is based on number of functions and also population size. That would also be used in grading of settlement. We are talking about settlement grading that is going to be seen there. So the settlement, uh, the diagram represents a dash settlement 1.2. As you can see, we are looking at it. You can see that this can be an urban hierarchy. Urban hierarchy, we are talking about the classification, the grading of settlement from the smallest to the highest. You see the conurbation, the highest form of a settlement that we can find. And then we talk about the metropolis, we talk about the city and the town up to, we come to the farmstead. So that is a person, that we call, it illustrates urban hierarchy. A dash is a large urban area where several towns have joined together. We talk about Westrand, Johannesburg, and Eastrand. What is that we call that? We say that large settlements, large urban areas have joined together. We can look at it. Large urban areas have joined together. They can form a conurbation. Which we talk about in terms of the population size is extensively big, and therefore we talk about that as a what? As a conurbation. A conurbation can be used to define, can be actually given to identify large urban areas where several towns have joined together. And then the smallest settlement in the diagram, obviously here the smallest settlement in the diagram, we are looking on the hierarchy. So this, the lowest one, the first rank, it defines, first rank shows the smallest. First rank shows the smallest, which is a farmstead. A farmstead shows the smallest. The smallest settlement in the diagram. It shows the farmstead. The farmstead, it is the one that we can see as the smallest. Is the smallest. And then the town or a city has a large sphere of influence. So in this case, we are just looking at uh, the city and the town. Which one has got a larger sphere of influence? Which one has got a larger sphere of influence? We are saying the sphere of influence of any given service is the maximum distance through which people are prepared to travel to and get a service. So the sphere of influence, which is larger in terms of the town and the city, we are saying the city is bigger than a town. The city is bigger than a town. If you look at this urban classification or urban hierarchy, we are saying this is bigger. This is bigger than what? Than a city, than a town. A town is actually smaller to a what? To a city. A city is more bigger. It has got more services. It has got more functions. It has got bigger population sizes. So when we look at them, we are saying a city has got a large sphere of influence than what? It has got a large sphere of influence. A city has got a large sphere of influence. A city has got a large sphere of influence. That we need to understand. A city has got a large sphere of influence, which is the correct answer is what? It's a city. And then the dash has more higher order services. We talk about higher order services. Which one has got higher order services? So when you look at this, class, what you need to understand is that higher order services, these are functions. As you look at it also on this classification, we are looking at number of functions or services. So as we go up, the services are becoming more specialized. They are becoming many of them. Here we are having just small. So what happens is, as we go up through the hierarchy, the services are becoming more specialized. They are becoming more specialized. They are becoming more complicated. they are becoming also quite extensive. This is a situation where we talk about, for example, we talk about examples such as uh, let's say specialized doctors and so forth. We cannot find them in what in service centers. We can't find them maybe sometimes in small towns. We can't find them in villages, but we can have to go to cities. We have to go to metros for us to get those higher order services. So higher order services, the metro is more higher order services. The metropolis is more higher order services class. So what we are saying is when you look into the complication or the this specialization of services as we go up, is the more we go up or the more we rise, the more services becomes more complex and more specialized. So we are saying if you look between a city and a metro, a metro is higher than a city, so it is having more specialized. We have got more specialized higher order higher order services in a metro policy than in a city. That is one thing that you need to take note of, class. That is what you need to understand. So we have got concepts that are given here, and then we have to match the description in column A. We write only X or Y. I mean X, we write only Y or Z next to the question numbers. Understand, we say write only the letter next to the question numbers. We don't write anything. So here we are saying 1.26 minimum number of people required to support a business. Minimum number of people required to support a business. We call that what? We call that a threshold population. Threshold population. So threshold population is given on Z, which represents the threshold population when a service or a business is running. There is a minimum number of people who are supposed to be in place in order for the entrepreneur, in order for the business, for the directors and whoever the company order to keep on opening his or her doors. There must be at least a minimum population size that must be available to support the business. So what we need to understand is that it is a threshold population that must be there. We are looking at this. I hope you remember Christaller central place theory. Central place theory. This is the German philosopher who actually analyzed and tried to grade and uh, give a classification of settlement, understanding and dissecting concepts to do with the population and services. To talk about sphere of influence, we talk about what? So Christaller central place theory, it explains this concept. So please go and check on it. It is quite a very honest, I mean, it's quite a very relevant and common area in terms of our examinations. The maximum distance a customer is willing to travel to buy something at a central place, what we call the maximum distance a customer is willing to travel to buy something at a central place, that is called what? We call that a range. We call that a range. I'm saying according to Christaller central place theory, he has been giving to say that we have got a service here and then we have got the sphere of influence. So the distance that customers are moving from wherever they are coming up to where they can get the service, up to where they can get what they want, we call that a range. This is called the what? It's called the range. It's called the range, the maximum distance customers are willing to travel to buy something from a central place, and therefore it tends to change with the classification or with the grading of the service or a product that the customers are going to buy. The range tends to be bigger and longer when we look at specialized services and functions. For something that is on a daily or daily consumables, people cannot be able to travel such a long distance to get them. So we need to understand that again as we go into these concepts. So old buildings in a city are not maintained and painted, decay sets in, and this is no this term is known as what? This is called as this is known urban blight or urban bleed. Urban bleed identifies a phenomenon in terms of settlement pattern, settlement management, whereby old buildings in a city they are not maintained and painted, decay sets in, they lose value, deterioration. We talk about deterioration of what? Of old buildings in the city. It actually results in what? In it results in what you call urban blight. Urban renewal, obviously, we are talking about, when we talk about renewal, we are talking about replacing and reconstruction, renovation, bringing in uh, uh, new buildings on those ones that are what, that are failing and faded. So now we have got question 1.3. Question 1.3, urban population in millions, that is given on the vertical axis. And then we have got urban population, which is showing that it is starting from 1940, it kept on rising in terms of in millions up to 2040, an expectation or a prospectus analysis that says that we can be reaching around five what is it above 500,000 or whatever millions of people. And then rural population, it has been high and then it is decreasing. So we have got an interaction in terms of population distribution. That is a phenomenon that we need to understand with regard to human migration and also modern day lives. So we are going to look into the questions that are there, which we need to look at: rural urban population migration or distribution. So we had no choice there. We had no choice. There are jobs and services in the city, so people have to go to the city. And the next person is saying again, uh, it is said to leave our family, but we need money to educate them, and the city will provide it. People are moving from rural areas to cities in order to get better finances or get better jobs. We are grateful for their grandparents. So the grandparents are being told, it's being said that they are being left to take care of what, of the children or of families that are left behind by those people going to look for what, for employment and other better ways of surviving or making money. So define define the term rural depopulation. Define the term rural depopulation. Rural depopulation, you can talk about, as you look from it, we are saying from the graph, it is also illustrated. We are looking at a concept which identifies the steady loss of people from what? From countryside to what? To towns or urban areas. It's it's a steady, we are saying a steady, is actually a steady loss of people, a steady loss of people, which is taking place from countryside. From countryside, we are talking about the rural areas, from the rural areas to to urban areas, which we can say to towns or cities. People tend to move. So we are saying D because people, we are having a decrease in population. There is a decrease in population that is taking place. A decrease in what? In population, in number of people. Population, we are saying number of people, number of people in rural areas due to movement to cities. People are moving to cities. That is what you need to understand. So according to the graph, what is the general trend in urban population from what is the general population? What is the general trend? Trend, when we are looking at trend class, when we are saying the general trend, we are talking about the pattern. What is the general pattern in urban population from 1960 to what is the general trend from 1960 to 2024? We look at the graph from 1960. What is the general trend from general trend? We are looking at this one, the rural. We are talking about the urban population. So what is happening here is that according to the graph from 1960, the trend actually shows an ever increasing or skyrocketing in the number of people moving or living moving to urban areas, which we can say that from 1960 to 2020 to 2024, the number is ever increasing. We are having an ever increasing number of people. We are having an ever increasing number of people that are coming to cities. So in this case, what is our answer is that there is a continuous ever increasing number of people. There is the continuous ever increasing number of people coming to live in cities, coming to live in cities, coming to live in cities, according to the timelines that are given. According to the timeline that we are given, the population of the number of people that are coming to live in cities is ever increasing. There is a continuous ever increasing number of people coming to live in cities. There is a continuous growth. There is a continuous increase in the number of people living in cities. Stated the two economic reasons evident in the cartoon for people living the rural areas. We are saying, according to the cartoon, what reasons are causing people to leave rural areas? According to the cartoon that we are having here, what reasons are causing people to leave rural areas to go to cities? What we need to look at there is that when we look in this case, we are saying there are factors that have to do with economic push factors. We had no choice. There are no jobs and services. The need for jobs and services is actually causing people to leave from rural areas to cities, and then also an expectation of better salaries. We need money to educate them. There is need for money. So now what we are saying is that factors there are economic push factors that are causing people to move from cities, from rural areas to cities. We are saying economic push factors, economic push factors, which is we talk about no jobs in rural areas, no jobs in rural areas. I already showed you that they said that the cartoon is actually showing there. And then we also talk about an expectation of better salaries. Expectation of better salaries, better remuneration. These people are going to look for better remuneration, where they talk about money to pay. We need money to educate them, and the city will provide it. The city provides the money that they are looking for. So therefore, there is a need for money that they want. And then question number next is saying, question 1.34, identify two pull factors illustrated in the cartoon. The pull factors, we are saying these are factors that are found in the what? In the destination. When we talk about the pull, there must be factors that are found at the destination where people are going, which is in the urban areas. So in urban areas, the pull factors, we have got employment. We have got employment, which is actually given in this case, employment. And then we talk about better services that they are also expecting there. They also expecting better services that we can talk about, which can also be either even schools. People tend to move from rural areas to urban areas, so therefore they can what? They can do or acquire higher qualifications or professional qualifications or training institutions which can give them this. There are many other factors that can also be there. We talk about entertainment, we talk about sanitation, we talk about better housing, we talk about good standards of living. All those are factors that would also pull people to cities. People would want smarter jobs, smarter living standards. So therefore, they would have to move from what? From rural areas to urban areas. That is one key reason that, or many other key reason that we can also add in this regard. Describe the social, next question, saying describe the social impact of rural depopulation on rural areas as stated in the cartoon. A social impact, we are saying in terms of the living, in terms of the survival of people, what is the social impact that we have with regards to this? So we have got the concept, there is an idea that is pointed out there to say it is so sad to leave our families, but we need money to educate them. The city will provide it. We are grateful for their grandparents. So we talk about the social impact that is in this case. We talk about grandparents left behind and family bonds being uh, broken. You can see that that is what is happening here. We are saying the social impact, leaving families behind, leaving families, leaving families behind. Families are left behind. Leaving families behind and uh, breaking breaking down of social ties between families, family ties, social ties. We talk about relationships, breaking down of relationships between the families and stuff. That is a social problem that we have. People go to places which they are not able to have or to continue maintaining the relationships they have with their families. So it is actually having the grandparents and children are left behind by the young people, the active population, which is now having a lamentation of leaving their children, but actually appreciating that the grandparents will take care of them. In a way, they've got a grief that actually sits on them with regards to what? With regard to this. Discuss how land reform may help to reduce rural depopulation. How land reform. This question is also referred to the channel. The question about land reform, it is also answered on the we are saying it actually gave good answers, also well discussed on the channel as a subject or as a topic. So land reform can also, how may it help to reduce rural depopulation? We are saying one, land reform may fix many problems. It will fix various problems. Land reform will fix various problems, which might also result in people not traveling or people not moving to various problems, so that young people, let's just say, so that people will not have to move or to travel, to migrate from rural areas to urban areas. So what are these things that are going to happen there? What are those various factors that are going to be fixed? You are saying giving title deeds, people would have provision of title deeds to people or families. People will not travel because they have got ownership. When people have ownership of the land, they are not gonna travel to go to what? To live, because here they have got security, they have got ownership of the land. Hence they would tend to stay and live there in those places. We also talk about land reform, government subsidies, government subsidies may support and empower farmers. They may support and empower farmers so that they can have good harvest. So when farmers are able to produce, if farmers are able to produce good yields, there won't be reasons of starvations. They are able to stay and live with their families in the areas that they are in those rural areas. So we talk about government subsidies, some support of financial support. Don't forget that we are talking about a government financial support. We are talking about financial support that government support, government financial support, which the farmers can use to buy various inputs and farm implements in order for them to produce better. So that can be a good advantage. We talk about we also talk about government trainings. We're talking about trainings which would also develop the farmers on best agricultural practices, on best agricultural practices, which can actually help them to what? To produce better. So that they can also be able to boost and reduce rural depopulation. And then we talk about people who finally have profitable and habitable farms. Hence, they will have to stay. They will have to stay instead of them migrating and traveling places, they would have to stay because they have got what? They have got the support of what they want. So better farming practices would also be advantages that we talk about. Provision of title deeds, empowerment of people by government through financial support, subsidies on seeds, on farm mechanization and trainings, empowerment. All these are various advantages that we can give with regards to land reform, which comes to address problems of what? Which might have come to address problems of what? Rural migration. We have got an infographic below on informal settlement that we need to answer some questions that are below 1.4. And then we are saying informal settlements. We are looking at informal settlements. So we have got formal, we have types of dwellings. Types of dwellings, we have got 85% informal, and then, informal is got 14%, and then traditional 1%. So we are given here now that fires in Khayelitsha. This is a question that I'm sure that I already also have answered it on the channel for those who are following Metric Hub. I'm sure that Metric Hub is going to be there for you guys. For those who are following, I told you that you won't repeat. This question has been answered last week, if not last week, but it is this month when this question was answered. So now, Cape Town, one of the worst informal settlement fires in the history of Cape Town, took place in the sprawling township of Khayelitsha. As more people migrate to the country's towns and cities, new informal settlements regularly spring up unannounced. The high density of these urban areas combined with the flammability of materials used to build them make spontaneous and rapidly spreading fires a constant threat. At least 5 people died and over 4,000 were left homeless in Khayelitsha. They were left without accommodation, without roof on top of them. In the early hours of January, when all of fire fueled by strong winds tore through an informal settlement known as a BM section, over 1,000 sheikhs were burnt to the ground. And then that is it. We are talking about the problems that are resulting from informal settlement, which has to do with what? Fire outages, fire outrages that are taking place, which are caused because of the material that is being used and also the high density of people, high density of housing within those informal areas. We have got the worst one in Khayelitsha, which left 4,000 people without accommodation 1 January. So therefore, let's answer the question that are there. According to the infographic, what percentage of South Africans live in informal settlements? According to the infographic, what percentage of of South Africans live in informal settlements? We are saying, listen class, according to the infographic, we are saying the information that we are asked must come from what? From what we are given here. So now, the infographics we are given that what percentage of South Africans live in informal settlements. It is given here. We don't need to live in informal settlements. We are saying informal settlements, it is given here that we have got how much? 14%. 14% is given here. 14%. What percentage? We are saying 14% is given there. 14%. We are saying the answer is just given. It's 14%. What is the main reason for the development of informal settlements as stated in the infographic? We are talking about rural-urban migration, which is the major reason. The rural-urban migration, we are saying as people migrate to urban areas, as more people migrate migrate to the country's towns and cities, new informal settlements regularly sprang unannounced. So we talk about rural-urban migration. Rural-urban migration is the main cause rural urban migration. Rural urban migration is the main problem that we are seeing there. Rural urban migration is the main reason which is causing this, which we can see that there is rapid rural urban migration. People arrive faster than houses are built. Houses are not built, but people are too many of them. The rate at which people are coming to urban areas versus the rate at which houses are built, it is always there is an inverse relationship. The local municipalities assisted the community living in informal settlement by providing them with basic services. Provide an evidence from the photo to support this statement. What is there? We are saying from the what services does the settlement of the about the government? What evidence we are saying can be there to support that? The country, the high density urban areas combined with in what makes spontaneous rapidly fires, at least people died, 4,000 left homeless, war of what tore through the informal settlement, over thousands sheikhs were burnt to the ground. So what we are saying is, according to according to according to the local municipalities assisted the community in informal settlements by providing them with basic services. Provide evidence from the photo. Okay, we are saying from the photo to support this statement. When we look at this in our photo anyway, it is in black and white. But what we can have to understand and relate to this question in order for it to be quite correct is that we can talk about provision of water. We can talk about water. We can talk about water, which is like the Jojo tanks, or we can talk about provision of water. That can be one of the key reasons that we can talk about in terms of informal settlements. We are saying provision. We can talk about provision of what? Provision of water. Provision of water, which we can talk about water tanks. Water tanks are found in informal settlement, and then we can talk about we can also talk about communal taps. Communal taps. If you look in informal settlements, we have got central strategic points where people can also go and get water there. The communal taps are also points which are also always given in areas where we have got informal settlements, where people can get water from one specific central point where everyone can take water from there instead of the water to be provisioned from, at house to house. So question 1.44, question 1.44, it says, according to the extract, what are the reasons for the frequent spread of the fires in the informal settlement? This has been given. I already made it. We said that the high density of these urban areas, the high density combined with the inflammability of materials to build them makes spontaneous rapid spreading of the fire, combined with the materials that has been used to build. So we are saying reasons that are causing the frequent spread of fire. We are saying high density of the houses. It is one of them to say that the houses are built so close to each other, and then we also have the problem to say that the flammable materials that are used highly flammable materials are used. They are the ones which are causing, are used. Highly flammable materials are used, which actually worsen the situation of the spreading of fire. So class, that's what is happening in that regard. That's what is happening in this regard. We also have another question which we are saying build them, and then there is also the strong winds. Strong winds are also quite reasonable points to say in this case. Strong winds always cause the fire to spread very fast. And then in a paragraph, approximately 8 lines suggest initiatives that the national government can implement to reduce the number of informal settlement. I also said, refer to channel again. Refer to channel. There is also a video that explains the concept of informal settlements and what are the reasons for their emergency, their challenges, their problems, government intervention, what government must do in order to solve and help such problems. So now, what government must do, suggest initiatives the government must take to reduce the number of informal settlements. So what these are these? We are saying one, we talk about launch breaking. We talk about the government must actually talk about one, expropriate well land expropriation of land, which we are saying this was which we are saying with well expropriation of land, which can actually help in terms of which they can also is which actually so that they can install they can install the much needed services, in those areas. In those areas, we are talking about those stands. The stands must have the services that are needed by people there. People must have the services at their stands there. We can also talk about raw housing projects, provision or initiation of housing projects. Housing projects will help to accommodate people to have proper housing that can actually not be able to cause fires that we are talking about. We can talk about upgrading the informal settlements, upgrading the informal settlements. It's quite important that the government would actually come and then build better houses in those informal settlements. It can also be a good answer that can be done there. Upgrading, it actually improves there. We are saying that is upgrading. We can say that upgrading in situ, meaning to say that building better housing for people who are already there in those places. And then they can also government provision of government microloans for housing developments, for housing for housing projects. Government can give people some loans in order for them to build, what housing. That can also be just a good provision and development. We can talk about private. We can also talk about what we call partnerships with the private sector, government, private partnerships. These partnerships actually will help government-private partnerships in order to help in terms of the infrastructure development. Government partnerships with private sector. This will also just help to fast track the processes in terms of housing development, and also to also maybe have a rental stock that can actually enforce some zoning that can also help in terms of new estates and housing for various for people. So therefore, we cannot talk about informal sector. We can also talk about the fast tracking of land reform, fast tracking of title deeds of land, title deeds, the fast tracking of title deeds in order. This is done in order to unlock ease access to bank credit, to unlock ease access to bank credits. This is access to bank credit. Bank credit will help. It will help people to access money. Is access to bank credit in order for people to access money for building, for housing, and so forth. So people would also have this in order to make sure that they can actually assist in these areas. Maybe last but not least, we can talk about the initiative for public works program, the implementation and enforcement. We can talk about also public works programs. The public works programs, it actually helps in terms of the public works program. It actually ensures that public works programs, this actually helps in terms of creation of employment and upliftment of standards of living. Upliftment of standards of living. When standards of living of people have improved, we talk about these measures that can also help in terms of this. So maybe we might also not forget issue to do with every other. We can talk about campaigns, awareness programs, government awareness programs, government awareness programs, awareness programs, awareness campaigns. Awareness campaigns will just help to educate people on this. Has to do with education of people. Education of people. People must be educated on safety in terms of safety, in terms of accidents, in terms of uh, evacuation programs and so forth. These are also measures that can be put in place in terms of building a sustainable community. So all these can also be various points, and even build a provision of government subsidies or government support programs like affordable bricks, which people can build real housing with. We can talk about these like safe eco-friendly bricks, safe eco-friendly bricks, which actually uh, help in turning the shacks into proper housing structures, which can actually reduce the accidents and problems of fires. So you can see that we have got quite a lot of answers that we can give with regards to government intervention in terms of uh, what you call reduction and prevention of the growth of informal settlements. Even government fining and sentencing of perpetrators of people who are found building informal settlements. These are strong government legislative policies which can actually deter and prevent people from building what and from actually just uh, entering into land that has not been approved. So therefore, we say all those are good answers that we can give. Johannesburg water crisis. What to expect in 2025 crisis of water in Gauteng. So Johannesburg faces critical water crisis due to infrastructure collapse. So Johannesburg has experienced numerous water crises this year, and the next expert predicts that these problems are likely to spill over into 2025, causing a larger crisis. Among the issues are severe infrastructure challenges and critical water shortages that are pushing the city's water system to its limit. Lagan Monsai, Johannesburg Water's operations manager, acknowledged the severity of these infrastructure challenges while attempting to reassure the public. During a water service delivery protest in Westbury, Vantek, the DA's shadow MMC for infrastructure, emphasized the need for technical experts rather than political appointees. The current level 1 water restrictions effective from 1 September 2024 prohibit the watering of gardens, filling swimming pools, washing cars, and using hosepipes between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m., adding to the city's challenges. The Lesotho Islands Water Project, which supplies water to approximately one-fifth of water of South Africa's population, is undergoing crucial maintenance until 31 March 2025. This means we will have to do everything we can to use water sparing, warned the water expert, the bossman. So now, what is needed here is for you to answer these questions according to what? According to according to the article. What is the cause of water crisis issues? What is the cause of water issues in Gauteng? What is the cause of water crisis issues in Gauteng? We talk about the crisis, what causes the water crisis, what according to what is the cause of water issues in Gauteng. It is because of the taps, they run dry, the running dry of taps. We are saying problem like Johannesburg numerous water issues this year, which is because of severe infrastructure damages and critical water shortages. Critical water shortages, taps running dry, taps taps run dry is one of the reasons which we have there. Why is it important for the municipality to ensure that people have access to basic services like water? What is the important? What is it? What is it? Why is it important for municipalities to ensure that people have access to basic services like water? We are saying uh, what is causing that one. So before we go there, we are saying taps are running dry because what is causing that, we need to understand that we are talking about collapsing infrastructure, collapsing infrastructure. is the reason why we have got the taps running dry. The infrastructure is failing. The infrastructure, we talk about that as a problem. Also the issue of what? Also the issue of drought. No rains. There is no rainfall. Drought can also be one of the reasons that we are talking about. Why is it important for municipalities to provide, to ensure that there is access to water as a basic service? One, what we need to understand is that water is a constitutional right anyway. Access to water, access to water is a constitutional right. Constitutional human right. This is a constitutional human. It is a constitutional human right. Everyone must have access to water. That's a human right thing that must be there. People must have water, and then it can also to avoid health crisis and protest avoidance of health crisis and also public protest and public protests. People can also protest if there is no water. We also have problems of public protesting, which can be caused because of absence of water. So government, in order to avoid waterborne diseases that are caused because of absence of water, it rather provides and ensure that water is readily available. And then according to the article, identify two of water restrictions introduced by the municipality. We are seeing again the restrictions there. We have got a lot of restrictions that are there, adding to the challenges. The Lesotho whatever prohibits. We are saying current level 1 water restrictions effective from September prohibits it prohibits it prohibits the watering of gardens, filling swimming pools, washing cars, using hose pipes between these times. All these we are saying they are what? They are the restrictions that we can talk about. What restrictions we are talking about? We are saying no, we should no garden watering, no watering of gardens between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. No one is allowed to water gardens there. People are not allowed to water. We talk about no car washing with hosepipe, no car washing with hosepipes. It is stated in there. And then we talk about we are saying no car washing with hosepipes. What else is there? Also filling swimming pools. Filling of swimming pools is also not allowed. No filling up of swimming pools. No filling up of swimming pools. All these are restrictions that are put in place in order to avoid this, and then suggest how the local municipality can assist the local residents during water disruptions. During municipality, it can actually, it is given that they also, municipality, what it has to do, it has to deliver communal water tanks, delivery of communal, deliver of communal water tanks delivery of communal water tanks. We can also talk about published daily outages. The municipality informs people. Publication of daily outages. Publication of daily outages. Publication of daily outages. People are informed when water is disrupted or water is gonna be not available. So they are just mechanisms that are put with regards to that, which actually outages, which we say these are what we call schedules. People are given the schedules of when water cannot be there and so forth. And then question 5 is saying in paragraph of approximately 8 lines suggests strategies on how communities can assist in saving water. How can communities assist in saving water? This is just also water management. We are saying communities, how can they assist in saving water? This can be done, one, fixing leaking taps, communities fixing all water leakages. Fixing all water leakages, it helps to save water. We talk about what else can be done. Fixing water leakages. We talk about these water leakages, which must be done as soon as possible. It helps to save water, that one, to reduce wastage of water. We also talk about we can also talk about installation of low water flow shower overheads. Installation of low water flow shower heads. And also dual flush toilets and dual flush toilets. We can also talk about use grey water for plants, and number 3, use of grey water in gardens or watering flowers. When they take the bath water to water flowers, you can talk about mulching gardens. Mulching their gardens can help to reduce evaporation. It can actually help to reduce evaporation in that case. And then we also talk about this reduction of evaporation. It can actually help in terms of what of saving water. We can talk about installation of JoJo tanks to harvest rainwater. Harvesting of rainwater can actually help there. We can talk about reporting water leakages. Reporting water leakages in real time to municipality. all water leakages must be reported as soon as possible. And then what else can we talk about? So we are saying even the issues of dishes and laundries must actually be done with the little, must be done with the maximum water saving skills that can be done, which we can give as to say that they can actually help in that case, which can be done through scheduling times for laundry and dishwashing outside peak times and restrictions that can actually help in terms of what? In terms of this. So these are the other points that we can talk about. So we can go to the next question. So we are talking about ways through which the public can save or can use to save water. Everything that you can think about, we can talk about that. Even the issues of saying avoiding using of hosepipe in car washing, talk about also the recycling of water. All these are various methods that we can put. We can't mention all of them. So we have got economic geography of South Africa. We are given gold mining output in South Africa, total mining output excluding gold. And then we have got total South Africa mining output and gold output. We are given that these are the things that we are, those are the minerals that we are given there. So gold mining falls under the dash sector of South African economy. Gold mining, it falls under what? Gold mining, it is an extraction service. Gold mining is an extraction, it's an extraction activity. Extraction activities, which is on what? On we are talking about extraction of raw materials. So we talk about raw materials extraction, it falls under the primary sector. According to the graph, the total, according to the graph, the general trend in gold mining output from 1995 to 2002 is dash. What is happening there? What happens from 1995 to 2002, I mean to 2022, in terms of the gold mining output? Gold mining output from 19 gold mining output 1992 is it 1990 1990 1995. We are saying from 1995, this is where we are, up to 1995 to 2022 to 2022. This is where we are. So we are talking about this trend. So we can see that it is actually decreasing. We can see that maybe here it was something like 80. We have got 80 here in 1995, and then we can just go down to 2004, which can be actually decreased by what? It actually went down by 40. If we go to 2009, it also went down again to something like 18. So what we are seeing is that the gold mining output is decreasing. It is actually decreasing, that we can see from that trend that we have demonstrated there. A possible reason for the trend mentioned, what can be the possible reason for this trend that we have talked about? What might have caused the decrease in gold mining in this regard? There are quite a lot of factors that we can. Improvement in mining infrastructure cannot cause decrease. Rising levels of investment cannot cause decrease also. Rising levels of investment can come up with better ways of doing things, and then we can talk about it increasing. High demand for gold can also cause increase in gold mining. So what we are saying is it's high levels of workers' unrest. We talk about strikes in mines. Strikes, we have got strikes, which also talk about, we can talk about strikes, which we can talk about, what is it? High workers unrest. Workers unrest, what does it do? resulting in low, it results in lower, it results in lower outputs. I'm sure you've seen the Marikana. We have heard of so many other mining strikes that are quite running up and around in South Africa, where mine workers are demanding a double increase in their salaries and so forth, resulting in strikes and social unrest, which we can say that it's disrupting production, and therefore we have got low output at the end of the day. Refer to the graph below and answer the questions that follow. Sectorial composition of the GDP 2024. Sectorial composition of the GDP 2024. So according to the each sectors that we are given there, we are given various percentages that are there: manufacturing, trade, catering, and accommodation. So question 2.14, it says the gross domestic product is actually the total value of goods and services produced and dash the borders of the country during a specific period of time and dash the income of foreign residents. So now what you need to understand is that when we talk about gross domestic product, we are looking at the total production of goods and services produced within a country. So we are saying produced within a country, which is inside the country, and the borders of a country during a specific period of time, and excludes. It actually excludes the income of foreign residents. It actually excludes excluding foreign residents. So our answer must be what? Must be B. We look at total production within the country over a period of years. Over a period of a year, which has been from its residents, excluding the foreign residents. So therefore, what we are looking at is the total gross domestic product, or we are looking at gross domestic product, the total value of goods that has been produced within a country, excluding foreign residents, pay. Excluding the foreign residents, pay in that regard. So in the pie graph, the tech sector contributed the most of the GDP and the tech contributed the least. So in this case, we are just looking on what contributed the most. We are just looking on the sector and then which one contributed the least. So if you can look at it, the sector that contributed the most, which sector contributed the most, you shall look at the percentages, the one which has got the highest percentage versus the one which has got the least. So the highest percentage, I see 31 here, we see 14, 32, 10, 8, whatsoever. So finance and real estate, we have got 31%. And then the least, we are saying we have got 3%, which is also not correct. We have got the lowest, which is 2.8% electricity and gas. So according to this, what is the one that produces or they are given according to, we are supposed to give them according to the primary, tertiary, and whatsoever sector. So the sector that contributed the most, in this case, we shall see that it is the primary sector. I'm saying it is the sector that contributed the most. We are saying it is the tertiary sector, which is the biggest, and then the primary sector has got the smallest. Tertiary sector has got the biggest. So we have got the tertiary sector, which has got the biggest, and then we also have the smallest. From what? If we calculate that one, we can also find out that the smallest comes from what? It comes from the primary sector. So our answer is it? Let me just confirm. We are saying our answer. We are saying the highest, the biggest tertiary sector, and then obviously. But if we look at it, mining. If we say mining plus this one, general government services, no, construction 3%, transport, and this one. We add these values and then we can see trade and catering, accommodation, So when we look at these, what we are saying is we have got also quaternary. Quaternary, naturally, it is one of the smallest one, which also provides us the least. So we should have uh, our correct answer is to say that the pie that the pie graph, the sector that contributed the most to the GDP and the one that contributed the least contributed the best, tertiary sector, and four. Let me see, tertiary sector and four. It contributed the highest, tertiary sector contributed the highest, and then four, the quaternary sector. So 3 and 4, we can say 3 and 4, we are saying it contributed the highest and the least from from that. The highest comes from the tertiary sector, and then the least quaternary. Consultative services. Let's see. No, consultative sector, not really consultative, because we see real estate, finance and real estate, transport, and all this. So basically, class, what you need to do is to work out these percentages, and then you shall see that we can say we can just say tertiary finance and real estate. It might fall under the consultative or the specialized services. So I can otherwise again say that it must be the question here. The question is all about adding, calculating the percentage contributions from each sector. The contribution from each sector. So I'm saying the consultative, this one also comes to be wrong to say 4, because it looks like when we look at the combination of the answers that are given there, the highest, of course, we are saying the tertiary sector, this one, it comes to be also not correct if we look at this. So now what we are saying is that it can be, we can end up having a situation which can say that it can be 3 and 1, which is the highest, but 1 cannot be the highest. So therefore, we can say that the correct answer, when we work out this, you can find out that the correct answer can be, we can say calculating the percentage. We are saying calculating the percentage contribution from each sector, and then you compare them. That's what the question was. You classify to say, when you look at this, agriculture is primary sector. We are saying primary sector. These are primary sector government services, electricity and gas. Let's say construction is primary sector. Trade, catering, and accommodation, this is tertiary. Tertiary sector. Manufacturing is tertiary sector. We say that finance and real estate, transport is tertiary sector. Mining and government services, specialized government services. So if we say 2 plus 9 plus this one, guys, let me just say you add and compare these sectors. That's what you just need to do in terms of this question here. 2.6, economic sector displayed on the two devices in the image represents the dash sector. The economic sector displayed on the two devices in the image represent the dash sector. It represents what we have got: online banking. We are seeing online banking here. What else is there? Online banking. And then we are seeing, I don't know what is this. This is a computer. So this can represent a tertiary sector. We can say this can be a tertiary sector. This can be a tertiary sector. This can be a tertiary sector there. And then gold mining promotes dash in South Africa. Gold mining creates 2.7. It creates job. Gold mining creates job. Gold mining creates job creation. It creates job creation. We cannot have poverty when we have gold. We can't have high imports. We can't say creates resources. It is creation. The gold mining industry contributed to the development of secondary and tertiary sectors by means of the dash effect. Number 8, we call that the multiplier effect. A small increase in spending results in extensively big returns. That is the multiplier effect. The multiplier effect that whatever is invested, which is small, results in significantly or extensively big returns than the initial investment or initial spending. So we call that the multiplier effect, which we can say that is the what? The multiplier effect, which we can say A, which we can say A. So if we can say A, which we can say A, so I keep on working this one. Just work it again and you shall see that you might find out that the answer that you can get there can be what? 1 and 4. So if we go on, choose the concept and match in the descriptions there, we need to write only the term, write only the letter next to the question number. Write only the letter next to the question number. Movement of industries into core areas. Movement of industries into core areas. We call that centralization. Industries cluster in the core. Centralization, it is called centralization, can result in a decrease in rural urban migration. Decentralization, when services are found, jobs are found in small towns, less reasons for people to leave those places to go into major towns. So decentralization, services are found in any other smaller places that we have, results in the distribution of wealth across the country. What results in the distribution of wealth across the country? We are saying it is decentralization. Number 3, decentralization results in the decentralization. It ensures that we have got equity access to government resources. So decentralization, it can be the right answer, can cause a strain on physical infrastructure. It is centralization. When services and people are highly concentrated in one area, we call that too many people, cars, strain our old pipes and roads and infrastructure. That is centralization. Number 4. Number 5, results in reduced congestion. Reduced congestion is because of decentralization. Reduced congestion is because of decentralization. Moves factories out. It actually empty and clean the air, empty the roads, and reduce pressure in all other service centers. Can cause high levels of pollution and environmental degradation in core regions. That is also centralization. Centralization, we are saying core regions can become smog basins. They become smog basins. They become smog basins. As to say, we have got a lot of carbon gases into places which are core regions because of centralization, can result in increased transport cost on the final product. It is also what centralization, we are saying, can result in increased transport cost on the final product. It is decentralization, which we are saying they need to be what? We need to say factories are far from ports and railways. Freight cost charges. We talk about what? Freight cost charges that comes as much as we decentralize. We talk about those cost charges that comes in that regard. So that is what it is all about. It is understanding the positioning and the effect of centralization and decentralization of services. So we are given a small scale farming and answer the question that follow the small scale farming and answer the question that follow. We have got chicken, poultry, we have got these various shades and so forth. The term is saying the question wants you to define small scale farming. Small scale farming is farming on small plots, mainly on, you are saying farming on small plots. It is farming on small plots. On small plots, small scale farming is farming on small plots, mainly for to feed families. Mainly to feed families. Mainly to feed families, and also a local market and a local market. We call that what small scale farming. This is what we call small scale farming. Farming on small plots, mainly to feed families and local market. We call that small scale farming. And then give evidence from the sketch that small scale farming is practiced. What evidence can show that the small scale farming which is taking place there, small scale farming that can be taking place in this, according to these photographs? What evidence can we see that can show small scale farming? We have got the size of the what we are having, the size of the poultry feeds, the one we are saying small sizes of chicken feeding troughs. The chicken feeding troughs, they show that there are small there, which can identify that it is also small scale farming. Even we can also see the size of the fowl runs, the sizes of the fowl run, the sizes of small, what are small, which indicate that small farming, small fowl run, which we can also see that this indicates small scale farming. Discuss two challenges that small scale farmers face. Challenges that small scale farmers facing. What are those challenges that small scale farmers facing? We talk about one. We can talk about drought. We can talk about drought wipes the crops. We can talk about climate shocks. Let's say climate shocks. Climate shocks. This has to do with, e.g., we can talk about drought, which can actually cause problems like no rain, no feed, no crops can grow. We talk about also challenges, no collateral security. No collateral security to access loans. Collateral security to access. Small scale farmers have no collateral security to access loans. They are denied loans. by banks. They are not getting, they don't get loans from banks. They actually have, uh, we are saying, when they want to access loans, it is quite difficult for them. So we say collateral security is also problems. We talk about mechanization. Mechanization is also a problem. Mechanization, they don't have enough machines. We can also talk about other problems, such as we can as well talk about what is it uh poor infrastructure. Poor infrastructure in their farms. Poor infrastructure affects them. Poor infrastructure affects their businesses. And then we can also now look at suggest a strategy on how the government can support small scale farmers. There's quite a lot. We talk about subsidies, government subsidies. We talked about this. Is more or less similar to the question that we answered now, which has to do with the assistance to informal settlements. We can talk about provision of government vouchers on buying farm inputs, We can talk about many other points which can also, we talk about government insurance, provision of insurance on their farms is quite also another support. We talk about uh, provision of infrastructure infrastructure development, infrastructure, that is roads. We talk about roads. You can talk about storage facilities, even also the provision of markets for their products. It's another problem that small scale farmers have. Markets, provision of reliable markets, and also even government empowerment, education and training. They are also good government support services that we can talk about. Explain social importance of small-scale farming to communities in South Africa. Advantage of small-scale farmers to this one. We can talk about they keep rural culture alive, sustenance, of rural culture. They maintain rural culture. We can talk about them also feeds. They support and feed village or a rural population. Rural population is fed by them. We can talk about food cuts. We can talk about food cuts, which can also be there. We can talk about build community pride. Building of community pride. We talk about the identity of these communities, preservation of cultural values. We talk about reduction in rural-urban migration. Reduction in rural-urban migration, which is a good advantage that reduces pressure. It reduces pressure on government government resources in urban areas. So you can put as many other answers as you can. You can put as many answers that you can want as you can with regards to the efficiency, the importance of small scale farming to communities in into South Africa. We can also even creation of jobs and improvement of standards of living of people within South Africa. We are given this one, which shows identify infographic and answer the question that follows. Commonly known as the target is in town is a town in KZN, South Africa, 40 kilometers north of Durban. The town is nestled among rolling hills, dominated by sugarcane fields and all those things. So now the question is saying identify the core industrial region on the map. What is the core industrial region on the map? If you can look at this, we can actually talk about, we talked about what, industrial, we said, look also on the channel. We talked, there is a video that identifies South Africa economic development regions and so forth. We talk about industrial development regions. We talk about all these. So now what we need to understand is that we talk about Sweet Hills north of Durban, time for sugar rush. So the question is saying identify the core industrial region on the map. You can see that this is what the core industrial region is, what Durban Pine Town, Durban Pine Town, Durban Pine Town, which is actually given Durban Pine Town. Durban Pine Town is actually given there, for which agricultural product is well known of. It is well known for which we are saying which agricultural product. We talk about what it is known of sugarcane. It is known of sugarcane. It is actually known of sugarcane fields that are sugarcane fields that are actually known in this area. And then give a climatic reason for the growing of agricultural product mentioned in this area. What we are saying, the climatic region, sugarcane, where do we grow sugarcane? It must be hot, it must be humidity, hot, humidity, subtropical climate, hot, humidity, subtropical, hot, humid, subtropical climate. And then we have got a plus or minus 1,000 milliliters of rain. You understand? And then explain how the dual trade port can be an advantage for the agricultural product in this place. How can it be can be an advantage to the agricultural? How can it be an advantage? So we are saying 2.4.4, 2.4.4. It can be advantage because we are saying perishables reach global markets within 7 hours via cargo planes. Perishable products can reach international markets very fast. They can reach the markets very fast. We can talk about also the increase in the market, the broadening of the market share, which is both local and foreign. We have got a both for local and foreign market, which we can give in that respect, and then discuss the economic importance of the agricultural product grown for Durban, Pinetown, core industrial region. So question 2.4.5, the economic importance of the agricultural product. So I said these questions also, class, is also on the channel again. So what is the advantage of that? The economic importance of this sugar refinery feeds the downstream industries. We can talk about the it actually one feed downstream. It actually sugar can refinery can feed the downstream industries. Downstream industries. It can feed the downstream industries. We can talk about the soft drink concentrate and the confectionaries. We can talk about downstream industries, e.g. we can talk about this, for example. This can be an example. We can give an example of Delta beverages. We have sugar because of the sugar refinery there. We talk about creation of jobs. Creation of plus minus 28,000. Plus minus 28,000 jobs that can be created in the core region there. These are also advantages that we can talk about, which can also give advantages of the development of other related industries that can also come in. How will a natural disaster such as flooding negatively impact the economy of the Durban trade port? The natural disasters, how can they, such as flood? We are saying one can impact on the economy of this region. One, we can talk about waterlogged sugar. We can result in waterlogged sugar can reduces yields. Waterlogging can reduce the sugar cane. It can reduce the sugar cane yields. That can also be a problem that we can look at. Can reduce the sugar cane yields. And then we can talk about mill shutdown. The sugar mills may shut down. The sugar cane mills may shut down. And then if the sugar cane mills shut down, we can have to talk about the movement of empty flight cargos. Empty cargos can fly, resulting in less produce for foreign market. The foreign market might not have the produce, the product, the sales. We can talk about loss of economic profit, which is millions of rands. e.g., we are talking about millions of rands that can be lost as money that must be made from the sale of these sugar canes and so forth and sugar products. So we are saying these are problems that can result when we have got flooding negatively impacting the region. Last question. Maputo Corridor Spatial Development Initiative that we are given here, informal traders on the R570 and the N4 crossing. We are given the Maputo Corridor, Tennyson, Stewport, Palabora, Nelspruit, and all those, Swaziland. We are saying South Africa, Johannesburg, our Stewport, our Palabora, our Kommatport, Swaziland, Maputo, and then what is the question saying? We are given distance and all this, Maputo Spatial Development Initiative. I'm saying this also class, it is well explained on the channel again, the spatial development initiatives and the industrial development zones. Check it again on what there is a video of that in on the channel. Major transport routes that connect the landlocked countries of Southern Africa, the Eswatini, Zimbabwe, to the port of Maputo in Mozambique. This strategic corridor is a key trade and logistic route in South Africa, facilitating the movement of goods and services to and from the harbor. That's what happens there. So, what are we supposed to answer here? We are saying, let's quickly answer the questions that follows there. Define the term Spatial Development Initiative. This is a Spatial Development Initiative. We are looking at a government-led project. It's a government-led project. Government-led project linking transport and industries. Linking transport and industries. Linking transport and industries to boost trade and uplift the poor region, to industries to boost trade. We are trying to boost trade and uplift poor regions. And uplift poor regions. That is what we call a spatial development initiatives. It is actually led by government. That is actually put through the linking of transport routes that connects various industries in order to boost trade and uplift those poor regions that are identified. You understand? So refer to the court evidence to explain why Maputo Corridor can be classified as a spatial development initiative. So what happens is that we are given from the essay that we are given from the essay that the corridor, the Maputo corridor, is a major transport route that connects landlocked countries. It connects. So we are saying it actually, the question it's because it is a strategic corridor, key trade logistic route. Which is actually a purpose and function of what of spatial development initiative. So our question here is that it's because it's given as a strategic corridor. It is a strategic corridor providing a key trade and logistic route. Providing a key trade and logistic route. And logistic route. Therefore, this is what exactly which is the aim of which is the aim of what is SDI. SDI is strategically set to provide a corridor for trade and trading route. So therefore, it is serving that function, this Maputo corridor. It is classified as a special development initiative because of that purpose. And then name one name one transport link between mentioned in the infographic. One transport link that is mentioned there. We have got we are given that we are given there that we have got N4. We are given the N4 as the road that we are given there. So the question is saying name one transport link. It is name one transport link that is there. We have got N4 highway. N4 highway 2 that is given in this case. And then 2.5, identify one of the aims of spatial development initiatives as illustrated in the infographics. Aim is that it connects landlocked neighbors to a seaport. We are saying connecting landlocked. It is actually connecting landlocked neighboring countries. Neighboring countries that are connected what? We are saying connecting the landlocked neighboring countries that are what? To a seaport. To Maputo or a seaport. To Maputo or a seaport. And then the last part is saying in 8 lines explain how Maputo corridor can improve the lives of people in small towns along the corridor. It is also on the channel class. This is also on the channel. The channel go on link on SD Special Development Initiatives, and then go and look on this. There is a video on this. It actually identifies those. So what you need to look at is how can that actually improve the lives of people in small towns. There are quite a lot of answers that we can give here, which we can say one, it actually upgrades it actually helps the upgrading of infrastructure or N4 uh, uh, highway link. This can also just ensure that when this is actually upgraded, we are saying it actually saves the traveling time for citrus trucks that can travel from either Bobela to the port, saving transport time from, for example, we can talk about from Bobela to port. It can be like that. Farmers save There is also new railway sightings in the what? In the comfort. They also, we are saying also availability of railway, the availability of railway sightings. These railway sightings that we are talking about is in what? In comfort spawn, in comati port spawn. What happens there? A fresh produce called storage hub. A fresh produce called storage hub. That is one thing that we should understand it there, which also we are talking about creation of jobs, creation of jobs, which also takes place there. We are saying actually mostly from those informal traders who are along the areas, creation of jobs for informal traders. Informal traders along along R571 is also another one that we can talk about, where they can just get, we talk about cutting street vending, evictions. We also talk about also improved cell phone coverage. That is because of that improvement in telecommunication. Improvement in telecommunication coverage. Telecommunication coverage, e.g., some Shebeen owners can now sell. Shebeen owners can now, they can now sell even QR code electricity. They can even sell QR code products like electricity. You can talk about clinics. Clinics can also receive containerized labs via corridors. Can receive container. They can also receive containerized labs that are coming through the corridor flight, via corridor, through the corridor flight. We can talk about boosting HIV test rates. HIV test rates can also be improved. Reduced border queues. Reduced border queues. Reduced border queues are also advantages that we can give in this case. And then this also saves on, it actually saves on trackers, meaning that they can also have more time to rest. Trackers can have enough, they can have enough resting times. Therefore, can also reduce accidents on roads. It can reduce accidents on roads, and ultimately we can talk about this, like to talk about the connectedness of cash flowing communities. Connectedness of cash flowing communities. Are all advantages that we can give that are coming as a result. They are coming as a result of the development of Maputo corridor. So you can see these are quite a lot of advantages that we can give in this respect. The interconnectedness of cash flowing communities that is established because of the Maputo Development Corridor, the reduction in accidents in roads or on roads because our drivers have got enough time to rest instead of them driving forever. So now we are saying that can also be a good advantage that we can talk about. The boosting of HIV test rates and also reduction in border queues, the containerized labs that are also produced or carried through the corridor freight, the selling and transactioning through plastic money. All those are quite a lot of good advantages that we cannot override with regards to this, what we are discussing now. So class, thank you very much for your time, and all the best. Let's keep connected and following. You can mark and follow right now. I'm telling you that Metric Help is there for you. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share so that we keep on growing as one community and we can all pass until we meet again in the next video. It is revision time. Just keep on turning on your notification buttons for you to remain posted. We are a family. We want to develop future leaders through metric help. So connect now and keep on connected until it is well. Have a best day and also all the best in every upcoming exams ahead. Thank you very much.